You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
FM 88.1 WHPR, Highland Park.
WVIE 107.3 FM Charlotte, Amalia, Virgin Islands.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
What's happening, Detroit? It's another Monday night coming to you. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream, black and strong. We have Rikavel in the studio with us tonight of 7 Mile Records. What's going on, Rick?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing great. We're going to chop it up a little bit about Detroit, rap artistry, and the industry. So tell me, you have this label, 7 Mile Records. How did you derive at that name?
7 Mile Records. I think I started 7 Mile Records probably about maybe almost 10 years ago. Actually, that's where I'm from, 7 Mile. So what better name to come up with than 7 Mile Records, you know? So that's where I was born and raised, 7 Mile. So that's where I got it from, basically, 7 Mile Records. That's where it came from.
Okay,
that's where I spent most of my life at.
All righty. So tell me about the moment that you decided that music was something you wanted to do with your life.
Probably in elementary school. I've been doing music, and I just had a love for music ever since elementary school, you know, ever since my music class. You know, back in the day when I was in elementary school, we used to play little instruments here and there. And coming up, you know, my father, you know, he used to play some of the old school music, and I just had a love for it. So when I just started writing and learning about it, learning how to work the Pro Tools and stuff like that, and got with some guys in my area, and we just started making music from that point on. So my love for it started a long time ago when I was younger.
Okay. You have quite an extensive library. I was looking up some of your artistry on YouTube, and you have quite an extensive library. So it was kind of complex for me to choose what I really wanted to highlight on the show tonight, because you have so much good music. And I'm not saying that because you're my nephew, right, and I love you. I'm saying it because it's true.
Right.
And some of the music, it appeared to me, jazz is my genre.
Okay.
I'm not a rap person. Jazz is my genre, but you had some music that the beats were so soothing and so dope that it captivated me as well. And we'll get to some of those. But what I really thought was interesting was the video Ricky that talked a little bit about you.
Correct.
So we're going to go to that video now,
Okay.
Ricky, and we'll discuss it when we come back.
Sound good. Let's for a long time, couldn't see me switch up or change my style. Anybody know Rick? No, I've been rapping at the shit now for a while. Too many wanna be kings related through jeans that we ain't seen, put in no work. None. Where these niggas was at when we was in packs with bundles of packs from Big Kirk. Can't forget about 2 for 10 on the red, sipping juice and gin. First death in 95 had to be our friend. Damn, probably by then on our 5th lick. Numbers adding up, man, we couldn't quit. Took another hit, lost Antoine. Childhood, man, wasn't that wild. Kid for Cartier's on 7 Mile, that's foul. Still it got worse over the pain. Over time, we lost more souls. Sold it off from crack to bowls. Hot guns brought back by road. Been love the dough, thug before bone. Pops lost the plug before I got grown. Been on my grind since 16. When niggas say who that, say Ricky. 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 Been in the game for a long time. Couldn't see me switch up or change my flow. Anybody know Rick know? If I got that work, everything could go. All money ain't good, I learned that. So I take the bag of my roll it slow. Stack up on niggas ran hard all winter. Blow something big for the big four, whoa. Little nigga, but I'm loco. Sleeping on me, put the city in the chokehold. Let me tell you why I'm not known. Cause I don't suck no. I'll be laid back, but it's still for the choke. Hit the 8 and jump 6s. Gotta speak in Huns if you want me to listen. I might speak in tongues on the pure and blessed children. Do it for the love of the thugs in the streets. I don't follow trends, flow reasonable me. These weak ass niggas in the game ain't G. Line them all up, everybody verse me. Half of a rapping ain't seen the key. The other half rapping seem strange to me. A few real homies left plain to see. When they say who that, say Ricky. When niggas 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 say who that, say Ricky.
Okay, so when you say who that, say Ricky. You say you've been on your grind since 16. What does that mean?
Man, well, basically with this music, you know, I mean, I've been on my grind way before that, but I just took, in that particular video, I just said 16 because I felt like that was long enough, you know. But yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. 16, you know, I've been in the streets doing this and doing that, you know what I'm saying? So that's where the grind came from. So it's been a while, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still trying to make my mark in the music, you know? So that's where that came from. And a lot of stuff I just really freestyle, you know what I'm saying? I put it together as I go. So 16 is when it, you know, is probably when I really started grinding in the streets.
Okay.
That's where that came from.
Okay. I appreciate the transparency here, but also through your artistry, because when I was looking at some of the videos, you were very transparent about your lifestyle, you know, how you've transitioned.
Right.
Because you could have really been more of what the streets have to offer. You know what I'm saying? But you've transitioned, and you made a song about that, like, hey, I have a wife and kids now, so my life had to change.
Most definitely.
And that was really cool, too. But talk about, were there any circumstances surrounding your life that you rapped about?
Well, I try to, you know, my music is really based off of things that I've been through, things that I've seen, and stuff that, you know, that's just really going on. So the circumstances I think that I can talk about is like, say for instance, when I first had my daughter, you know what I'm saying, and I kind of like left the music alone. You know, I kind of like fell back for a minute to take care of my family. You know, that's really that's when I really said I had to do something different. You know, so I kind of like put the music on the back burner. At that time I was kind of young in my 20s, and I felt like it was time to take care of my family. You know what I'm saying, and then I get back to the music. So that's like really one of my circumstances, one of my biggest circumstances. Started having kids, you know, got married, and I felt like I'm gonna do this family thing and do what's right, and then if it's meant to be, it'll happen, you know. So
Well, I'm gonna tell you, the family man, you got that down pat. I give big ups to you. You know, becoming a part of your family. I never saw the rap artist, and not that that's a bad thing,
right,
but I never saw the rap artist. I saw the family man, where the family is number one, and taking care of your kids, and, you know, building with your kids and taking out the time with them, etc. I knew nothing about your whole rap career until your baby boy said, my dad a rapper. You might not like all of his music, but you're gonna like this one song, Take You Out.
Oh yeah.
So he was like, I'm gonna find it on YouTube. So he went, and pulled it up on YouTube.
Is that right?
And he played it for me. So if we could, let's take a look at it.
Okay.
You know, let's take a look at Take You Out. I was going to do it at the end, but let's do it now. Let's pull up Take You Out.
Bet. Let's do it. One time. I just wanna take you out, take you out, take you out, take you out. I just wanna take you out, 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 baby. Take you out, baby. Take you out. I just wanna take you out, take you out. Don't trip, boy. I see you go through it. I'm a man like Nike, I just do it. If I could see beforehand, I would've knew it. Couldn't avoid the trail when time proven. Uber nights, late flight, champagne sipping. All in Vegas, couples with us and still tripping. Never slipping, got family on the west. Smoked a lot of weed in LA, we had the best. Really to this life I stress. I struggle, I work hard. It's called human, we got flaws. I get money and spit bars. Time to have some fun, we gon' chill, just hit bars. Take you out, take you out, take you out, take you out. I just wanna take you out, 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 baby. Take you out, baby. Take you out. I just wanna take you out, take you out. Take you shopping for a day, I'm a different breed. I like real beer. Just because we's lead a planet up to me, you can get dressed. I'm sending Virgil over, baby say less, pay less. Imitation sauce, you know who you f***ing with. I'm a real boss. A bad apple make it bad for the rest. Weed out the Bell Seas. This was just a test. Televised true love. I might change your life in a minute. I'm trying to own property in the district. Used to be common, now it's rare. Gotta know your worth, baby girl, when niggas care. I just wanna take you out. Take you out. Take you out. Take you out. I just wanna take you out. Take you out, take you out, take you out, baby. Take you out, baby. Take you out. I just wanna take you out, take you out. Let me take you out, baby.
All right, so we heard Take You Out by Rikavel. And what artist influenced you? You say you've been doing the rap thing and the music thing since elementary school. So who were some of the artists that influenced you?
I could say I'm from the old school, so I was growing up listening to artists like EPMD, Dougie Fresh, who else? NWA, Spice One, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, and the list go on, you know, back in those days. But I think one of the biggest artists that I could say was Tupac. You know, I really took a hold of Tupac when he came out and listened to a lot of his music, you know. But like I said, that's not the only one I got a list of artists that kind of influenced me coming up. But it's a lot of the older artists that the newer artists nowadays probably not familiar with, you know. So, but I would have to go with like Tupac. That's like one of my favorite artists. But you still got the Biggies, the Jay-Z's, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, EPMDs, Eric B. and Rakim. I'm just from the old school, so I like those old school artists.
Gotcha. And I'm familiar with some of them, but if I had to pick a rap album, it would be Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style.
Most definitely.
I remember I had a convertible Sebring, and I was rocking that, and I was putting them in the air then too. I light me one up.
Oh yeah.
Then the top have to go back, and I'm getting it all the way home off of that.
Trust me, I know the feeling.
That bass line that he would come up with on some, I skipped the part where he was peeing. No, that wasn't cool. But you know the song I'm talking about, Gin and Juice.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
My God, I was going crazy over that. And then the Chronic album.
Oh yeah.
Ice Cube. So I get that. If you had a dream collaboration, who would you collaborate with, whether they're already deceased or still existing? What would your dream collaboration be, producer or artist?
It's Tupac for sure. You know, unfortunately, you know, he passed away, but if I could collaborate with an artist, it would have to be Tupac. You know?
Okay.
I mean, I would collaborate with more artists today, but my dream collaboration would be Tupac.
And what is it about his method that you feel compelled to choose him? He was very distinctive in his style, you know, the way that he rapped or whatever. So viewing yourself as an artist, do you have any similarities to him, like your style, your beats, how you go about putting your music together, the melody?
I think the realness that he portrayed, the way he was for his people, and just his work ethic. You know what I'm saying? I got a strenuous work ethic when it comes to my music and when it just come to working, period. So I think I can relate to him, and just trying to relate to my people, and, you know, just, you know, be there for my people and educate my people. Like I say, my work ethic is strenuous.
Yeah, and definitely I can say that he was about family.
Right.
You know, he rapped a lot about his mama, and even though his mama had some type of addiction, you know, that record, Dear Mama, you listen to it. See, certain songs I listen to the music, you know, when I'm happy, when I had a little sip, you know, whatever, I'm listening more to the beat.
Okay.
When I am more emotional, I'm listening to the words.
Right.
And so listening to that Dear Mama song,
Yeah.
it really touched me, you know. And so now that you identified him as your dream collaboration, I can see definitely that love for the family,
Right.
and a love for the people, because he always wanted to help.
Right.
You know, regardless of what people thought about him or whatever, how it came about, you know, parents being part of the Black Panther movement, and you get your name from that whole movement.
Correct.
Or whatever, that's a huge responsibility to have. And then him, like, kind of raising himself, you know, because of the lifestyle that his mother lived.
Right. Right.
You know, but he still loved her.
Exactly.
And he still tried to provide.
Most
So,
definitely.
you know, he got a lot of credit posthumously too, you know, after he died. So
Yeah.
I have to give big ups to him as well.
Yeah.
With your music, are you trying to reach a certain demographic? Like, who is your music intended for?
Well, of course I would like everybody to listen to my music, but me, I'm not gonna force it on nobody. You know, that's a choice. If you wanna, you know, listen to it, you can, but the youth most definitely, because I think that nowadays the youth is going through a lot of things that I've been through, you know, and I feel like I made it through, you know, and so in some of my songs, I talk about that, you know, and I let them know that. And when I say I talk about that, I'm speaking on like drugs and things and of that nature that I've been through. And I just want to let them know that it's more to life than that. You know what I'm saying? That's not the only thing that they got out here, you know. And so if they can just listen to some of my songs and realize, hey, yeah, he done been through that. And I feel like I made it, you know, because I was in that lifestyle. I was in that game, you know what I'm saying? And now I choose not to be no more. And I feel like I'm a successful black man, you know what I'm saying? And that's not something that they have to do if they choose not to, you know what I'm saying? And even if that is something that they choose to do, it's a way out, you know? A lot of times you hear that the only way out is either dead or in jail. Look at me. I ain't never been to jail for a long amount of time, and I'm still living. So I'm a prime example, you know what I'm saying? That's not the only way out. So, and then of course my generation, you know what I'm saying, they can listen to it too, because I got something. I try to provide something for everybody, you know, not just the youth. You know, I try to make music for everybody.
Well, you know, one song that I saw, and like I said, your library is so comprehensive and engaging. It was hard for me to select, and not because of the lyrics. You know how some people have to have radio version. I have to ask, like, do you have a radio version? It didn't take all of that cursing and all of this explicit stuff for you to get your point across. Like, it wasn't. I wasn't desperately seeking through your catalog to try to find something that I could play
Right.
tonight, and I still got the message. There was one video that I looked at where I can't remember the lyric explicitly, but it was sort of like "put the rock down." So basically, you left that lifestyle alone.
Correct.
And
yeah.
then you came into where you are now, a family man, and being sure that you could provide for your family. Which, do you know the video that I'm speaking of?
I don't.
I wish I would have picked it up, because you have so many, but I'm like, that was really cool to hear you say, because what I got from it is, look, my hustle is still the same.
Most definitely.
But what I'm hustling is different. Now I'm
Correct.
just going to make this money on the job. I'm going to provide for my family, but my grind is still the same. I'm still going to grind. I'm still going to take care of my family. This is what I do.
Right.
And now music is like my hobby. And
Correct.
I appreciated that. That was really, really cool. So let's move into another video. Let's
Okay.
set this up. So this is Pull Up. Tell me what inspired you to make Pull Up, and what is it about?
Well, actually, Pull Up came from a friend of mine that I work with. He made the beat, and he sent it to a artist that he met off Instagram. So the artist that he met off Instagram was a singer, and she got a lot of music herself. Shout outs to Antonia, Maya, and they came up with this one song, and he sent it to me. He support, whatever I do, shout out to Tony, you know what I'm saying? That, like I said, that's a friend of mine that's on Instagram. So he sent the particular beat to an artist that he met on Instagram. After she laid her vocals on it, he sent it to me. And as soon as I heard it, I liked it. So if I see something or hear something that I like, it's like, it's really no problem to come up with some lyrics. So he sent it to me. I listened to it, and I probably wrote the lyrics in like 25, 30 minutes, and I sent it back to him. And he was happy, I was happy, and we just took it from there. He got it mixed down by DJ BJ, and it was a go. So we kept it moving from there, you know what I'm saying? And that's basically how we came up with that song. But it actually was a concept that was sent to me. And like I say, I heard it, I wrote to it, I finished it up, because I got a pre-production studio right there in my basement. So I wrote my verse, recorded it myself, and sent it back. And now we promoting it right now. Pull Up.
Well, I tell you, it's a hot track, and see what you think about it, Black Coffee viewers. We're going to listen to Pull Up by Rikavel.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, yeah. Pull up, pull up, pull up. True Time Productions. Pull up on me, pull up on me, pull up on me, pull up on me. I've been feeling lonely, I've been feeling lonely, babe. Pull up on me, pull up on me. I need your company, I need your company, I need your company, I need your company. Pull up on me, babe. Where you been? Pull up in your Cadillac, take me out, baby. Can you give me that? Give me all your attention, 'cause I've been missing you. Pull up. I don't want no attention from anyone but you. Pull up, babe. Pull up on me, pull up on me, pull up on me, pull up on me. It's you when you leave me. Pull up on me, babe. Pull up on me, 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 pull up on me. Focus on me, babe. Where you been? Pull up in your Cadillac, take me out, baby. Can you give me that? Give me all your attention, 'cause I've been missing you. Pull up. I don't want no attention from anyone but you. Baby, you always take me so high, you're like a daydream. I know that you won't take me for granted, 'cause you love me.
Where you I'm pulling up. We riding out. When the sun go down, we can let the top back. Put a soft leather, baby, gon' relax. Contacts catching eye contact. Looking through your soul and I can read your mind. Loving you was a crime, I'm guilty. Hundreds in my pocket, they filthy. Silly on me for the carrots. Anything less, I'm embarrassed. Sip some, baby, don't be shy. Your presence got me on this high. We riding high, be sitting low. 94 West, straight through them toes. On cruise to the Chi-Town fast. We together, you ain't gotta ask.
Where you
Yeah. Like I was saying, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you,
That's
but I
okay,
got to
go
shout
ahead.
my man True Time Productions out for making that track, and Antonia Marquis for featuring me on that. So it was a pleasure. I thank y'all.
Hey, that was one of them songs I almost relapsed and wanted to light up. Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah,
can get us.
right. It kind of gave me that house feel when I
Oh
heard it. You know, it was like some house
yeah.
music or something. So it was kind of different for me. But like I said, I liked the track, so I couldn't help but to write something to it.
Well, maybe a good collaboration would be a good friend of mine, Kevin Saunderson, who created the techno genre. I don't know if you've heard of Kevin before, with the Saunderson brothers. So that whole electronic music festival, he is the founder of techno music. He created that genre.
Oh yeah.
And he does a lot of good music too. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to check them out this weekend, so maybe we can check them out together. But it's pretty cool. It sounds like something that he would mix. That would be a great collaboration.
Most definitely.
Another great collaboration, what I feel would be good, and we talked about this before,
Okay.
bringing Motown back. And you know how Snoop Dogg got with the Dramatics,
Yeah.
and they did Doggy Dog World. It would be kind of cool to see you get with my uncle from the Elgins
Right.
and come up with something to revitalize that. I think it's definitely time to
want
try
to.
to
I
get in a
want to.
studio and bring that Motown sound back with something like that. That was a great collaboration.
Right.
Doggy Dog World, the Dramatics, and Snoop, man.
Right. Well, maybe you can convince them to press the issue a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. You know, like we said, we talked about it before, but we got to get on top of them.
Got to
so we can
move
press the
along
issue.
with it. And his daughter is on the live, Denise. We can get your dad in the studio and do a collaboration with Rikavel of 7 Mile Records. And, we can resurrect Cash Flow. So we need to find that vinyl or Cash Flow and mix that song.
Most definitely.
That would be a great thing. What do you feel is the biggest misconception about rap music? For me, I can tell you what mine is, that it's always about gangster. It's always about crime.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people see the positivity that can come out of it. I
Right.
think it's more looked at as, drug dealers talking about that life or whatever, and not many people get the positivity out of it. Basically, they punked Will Smith because he wasn't coming hard enough, and you talking gangster with his rap songs. So he was
Right.
almost discredited as an artist because of his style of rapping. So what do you think the biggest misconception about rap is?
Well, I think the biggest misconception to me is that a lot of people have the misconception of rappers and I'm not saying that they don't, but they think most rappers rap about stuff that they really not doing or really isn't true. But in my case, a lot of stuff, like I say, that I rap about is stuff that I've really done or really been through. So that's, I can only speak for myself, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I take on it. They always talk about how rappers be lying and stuff like that, but most of the stuff that I rap about is 99.9% true. I ain't got time to be lying, So that's what my misconception is from the public,
Well, to me, rapping is an art. It's no different than an artist with a paintbrush painting on their canvas, right? And so, to me, the mic becomes your canvas, right? And you're painting this image. You're painting this story. You're
Right.
telling a story, and a lot of people want to shoot the messenger.
Right.
And we talked a little bit before we hit the airwaves about, is there a social responsibility of a rapper?
Okay.
And I went on to say, I'm kind of mixed.
All right.
I will say that when people look at me as a mentor or someone, that's not what I want to be looked at.
Okay.
I want to live my life and live my life my way. If there's some admiration that comes out of that where someone looks up to me because of what I do or whatever, that's fine. But I don't want to live my life in a public eye where I have to kind of watch what I say and do
Right.
because of that. And I still landed in that position, being appointed by the mayor and having some elected positions that I sit in the Belleville area, I do still find myself like, man, should I really say that or whatever? But then at the end of the day, it's like, F it, this is who I am. They should have did their research before they asked me, because this is what you get, right?
Exactly.
So I'm wondering, do you feel the same way about your music?
Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? I'm just the type of person that I don't really want to be controlled. I want to be able to do what I want to do and say what I want to say when I want to say it. You know, I do try to think about what I'm saying, you know, now, but hey, I'm this is me, you know, and God made me the way I am, and I can't help that, you know. If it's meant to be, it is. If it ain't, then it ain't. You know, this is me. So I can't take away what God has made. You know what I'm saying? So you either like it or you don't, pretty much, when it comes to my music.
Yeah, I think for me, and if I put it in a form of artistry, then I would feel this way, that when I'm making whatever it is I'm making, whether it's a decision or if I made music, at that time, I'm thinking about my canvas and how I want to depict what it is that I'm feeling emotionally or lyrically or whatever I'm doing, not necessarily how it's going to affect anyone. I think that's an afterthought.
Correct.
Right? That comes after, and it still doesn't change your perspective as an artist, as an individual, or whatever. You don't really have regrets, but it is an afterthought. But it's not a primary thought, like I'm not going to put this out there because of the perception that someone else may have. And I think that's how we get all the different genres of music and even all of the different religions, because there are going to be different audiences that perceive things differently. People are going to see things from their perception. I don't care how you frame it.
Correct.
Right? They're going to see it from their perception. So I definitely feel that how you influence others, that's thought about later.
Right.
You know, it's about getting your message out, and how you want to frame that, I think, is a part of the artistry. But having a social responsibility, I don't necessarily think so. And, you know, what troubles me the most is the people who are responsible for social responsibility are our politicians and our pastors, and who are some of the most corrupt, the pastors and the politicians included. But then they want to take someone that's an artist. With an artist, you're supposed to be free form and have the liberty to be culturally competent and display whatever it is the way that you want to. So the social responsibility is being put in the wrong place when they say, you know, rappers shouldn't use the N-word and all of this and that. I don't necessarily like the use of the N-word or the B-word, but if that's what you do and that's a part of your artistry, so be it. But we got the president mocking physically handicapped people and, you know, all of these other things. That's where the social responsibility deterrents need to be at, with people who are really representing the people, not those that are representing artistry.
Correct. Yeah. And like now, the only thing I really think about is, like, now I'm a father, I'm a husband, and things like that, you know. So I think about my daughter, you know, I think about my wife and things like that when it comes to making music. But, you know, and other than that, I'm a son, you know, like I'm a nephew, you know, so I try to put a little bit more respect in my music in terms of making music. But other than that, however the public perceive me, you know, that's on them. I know what type of guy I am. You know, God know what type of guy I am, you know, and a lot of people that know me know what type of guy I am. So for the people that don't know what type of guy I am, I just suggest that they try to get to know me if that's what they want to do, you know, because deep down inside, I know where my heart is at, and I know what type of guy I am. So
I agree, because, hey, I know when I became a part of your family and you became my nephew, I didn't look and be like, whoa, that guy gangster, he a rapper. You know, he used to be in the street, you know, or anything. I never would have noticed that about you at all. And I will say this before we go on to the next video. Rapping is telling a story. You know, it's telling a story, whether you're spreading the good news or actual neighborhood news. It is telling a story. So if a newscaster is on the news and they're talking about the news, people don't hate the newscaster.
Correct.
You know, and he's spreading the news. So why you hating the artists?
Exactly.
For doing their work and using their tool or their instrument or this media to get out the news that they're, or the stories that they're trying to tell.
Right.
Again, I think too much emphasis is put on it because I feel like music is empowering Black people.
Right.
You know, with NWA, every last one of them had an FBI file.
Right.
Because they was like F the police.
Exactly.
You know, or whatever. And when they started talking with, because they know we're better together.
Right.
And so anything that's going to empower us as a people when we come together, of course, is going to be banished.
Right.
You know, because they're afraid of how powerful we are when we come together. And that's why we need to do it.
Correct.
You know, that's exactly why we need to do it. So we're going to go to another video because you have a video called Violence. We have so much violence in the community. Mm-hmm. What made you decide to do this video?
Violence. Well, I just wanted to, you know, make sure I do my part, like I say, and try to let the people know what's going on far as my city. You know, like you said, we got a lot of violence going on. And I wanted to just show in a different form, in the art form, in the music of what was going on from my perspective, you know, and just bring awareness to what is going on in my city, which is the city of Detroit, you know, and show people, like I say, show the youth that this ain't where it's at. You know, it's a lot going on, and this ain't what we need to be, you know, focusing on right now. You know what I'm saying? We need to change the narrative and, you know, try to do something different. It's something better than just going out here killing people and stuff like that. You know, that's what I talk about in the song, people dying and the violence and stuff that's going on. And it's a lot more than living than just, you know, the violence that we see nowadays.
I agree, because until we heal the heart, we can never heal the heartless.
Right.
You know, there is some trauma and some things that took place in that individual's life that is causing them to behave the way that they're behaving. Some adverse childhood experiences where that was either a father absent from the home, maybe incarcerated, maybe even dead.
Right.
You know, maybe mom is so much on her knuckles that the son had to try to secure the bag, you know, to pay the bills and to keep the lights on.
Right.
You know, there are a lot of things that go on in our community with our children, but I say each one should reach one, and we should try to do a little bit better with surrounding our children with positive role models and things of that nature, because if we don't try to raise them, the prison system will make them what they want them to be, and that is to make $1 off of them. That is a system that makes money. It's not about reform or anything else. It is about making money off of our kids. And I feel that snitching is one of the things. See, to me, the definition of a snitch is if you were actually in a crime with someone and then you just start telling and y'all were in it together.
Exactly.
I'm telling what I see on my block. I'm not a snitch. I'm a neighbor.
Right.
You know, so let's get the definition right.
Exactly.
Right. I'm not a snitch. I'm a neighbor, and whatever's going on in my block, if I don't do it in front of me, because I'm telling. You know, I want my neighborhood to be safe. I want the kids in the neighborhood to be safe.
Right.
I want the kids to have an opportunity to live. Suicide for children in metropolitan Detroit area went up 300%.
Wow.
So those who are not killing others, they're killing themselves because of the pressure.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like in the hook, that's what I say in the hook, when it's going in. You know, that's like one of the main things, and like the main thing that I say in the hook, when is all the violence going in? And that's, you know, that's really what I mean by it. It's like all the violence and stuff that's going on, when it's going in. You know,
I don't know, man. We got to even take a look at, when did it all begin and when did it get so bad? I don't think it's a problem that cannot be solved because violence and suicide is a perceived solution to the problem, but it's not the solution to the problem. So let's get a little bit into this particular video by Rikavel called Violence, and we'll be right back.
First at 6, we're back on the hunt for one of Detroit's most wanted.
Detectives are releasing new clues and new video in hopes of finding 2 gunmen who ambushed a man at a gas station.
7 Action News reporter Jennifer Bisram joins us now with how the family is coping, and also a young man with a criminal history gets off with only probation after carjacking an elderly woman.
Well, tonight the family of the 85-year-old wants answers as to why.
Action News reporter Shelly Childers just arrived on scene. Shelly, what are you seeing?
Too much crime going on. My people getting weak, but we gotta stay strong. Left dead in the streets, burnt up in the home. Killed at the club, didn't even make it home. 18 out here on their own. Baby killing, baby screenshots on my phone. Walk around the city, everybody feel alone. Money so scarce, being broke, being embarrassed. Terrorists got their hidden agendas. Cops getting paid to kill us. Lock us up January, December. More memories remember. Local lean dealers, all springs growing up to be killers. Bad, but that weed be a healing. Help us deal with these little badass children. Pops in the streets, mom trying to make it work. Snakes in the crew coming out the woodwork. Nobody wanna work no more. All they wanna do is rob John for dough. Every day like a show and tell. I'm just trying to live, some of my niggas fail. I know you.
Ready?
Yes.
All right. So all that violence, when is it gonna end, man? Like, how did it even begin? When I looked at some of the scenes you had in there with the police just beating a person down.
Right. Yeah, and it ain't, you know, it comes with the police. It comes with, you know, black on black crime. It's all type of violence that's going on, you know, and that's just what I tried to touch on in that type of video. You know what I'm saying? Not just with us killing each other, you know, it's police is harming us as well for no reason, you know. So it's all type of violence, you know, people killing people for nothing, you know, and it just don't make no sense to me.
Well, it's a war on a black man. I think that law enforcement, and I won't say all, I have friends and family members that are DPD and
Most
other things,
definitely.
but I feel that it's one of those things, if there is a shooter in a house and they get a call, what do? They secure the perimeter. Right, and then either they let them kill themselves or they calculate the number of casualties that may take a part in that. You know, they may evacuate some of the other houses around or whatever, try to isolate that situation. What I see happening in Detroit and some of the other areas, I can even say my hometown, Inkster, secure the perimeter and let them kill themselves. So long as it don't spill over in the Garden City, Dearborn, Wayne, Westland, or Romulus, let them kill themselves. We don't have to kill them if they kill themselves. So we'll just let that happen. And I look at that at some of the areas in Detroit where some of them are, I should say, more patrolled and more secure than other areas, and I look at it as that same secure the perimeter and let them kill themselves syndrome. I see some of it starting to change now where they move to other areas of the community and try to clean it up. And I get it. You know, some of it is, how did the neighborhood get that way? The houses didn't tear themselves up. You know, the crime rate didn't just escalate on its own. Something perpetuated it. But I do still feel that more could be done about the issue than what is being done about the issue. What do you say?
I think that it could a lot could be done, but I also think that it starts with us. You know, us as a community, us as people. You know, we have to do our part as well. You know, us as parents. You know, we have to teach our kids. You know, and you know, when I was coming up, you know, it was like, not only did I have my parents, but my friends' parents was like my parents as well, you know, and my other friends' parents was like my parents. So, you know, I think it all starts with us, you know, as a community, as a whole, and hopefully, you know, that type of thing, that type of love can trickle down, you know, and to the next generation and things like that, you know. So I just want to do my part and, you know, teach my kids what's right from wrong. And like I say, not only am I going to be a parent to my kids, I was raised as, you know, other people's parents was my parents as well. So I'm going to be parents to other people's kids as well, you know, and teach them right from wrong, not just my kids. So that's what I think. I think it starts with us, you know, as a community, as a neighborhood, you know, as a whole. And hopefully it can just start to trickle down and change the narrative in the next generation. You know,
I want to give a big shout out to you and your wife, the way that you rear your children. You know, I don't see a lot of couples in your age bracket, you know, married and just sticking this out, you know, all the way through, and how you come together to raise your kids, keep them active, very good, mannerable kids,
right?
Who I say they're spoiled, but not spoiled rotten, where they do temper tantrums and you know, none of that stuff. They're so very well behaved and so mannerable. So I feel like there is something to be said about a two-parent household, and not that, you know, my mother raised us pretty much by ourselves. Our father was out of the home. I think that a mother can raise a daughter, but she can only provide for a son, because she can't teach a son how to be a man.
Exactly.
He needs that. And, you know, I get into a lot of arguments with a lot of people when I say that, but I'm sticking to what I'm saying.
Most definitely.
You know, you can raise a son, you can provide for him, try to teach him manners and things like that, but it's certain things that a boy is going to get from a man that he will never get from a woman.
Most definitely.
Never. And he'll get it from the streets, and then he gets the wrong thing.
I agree. You
know, the streets will teach him. And that's how they get recruited into gangs and all of these other things, because they're looking for that sense of belonging, that manlyhood, that bonding that you get male to male.
Right.
They're seeking that. You know, and I think if parents looked at, you know, my mother included, I don't have any animosity or anything anymore. I had to heal, but I was kept away from my biological father. I didn't meet him until I was 30 years old.
Okay.
My mom did what was right for her.
Correct.
You know, I don't think she thought about doing what was right for us.
Correct.
But when I look back over my life, I do feel that my life would be different if I was raised by my biological father. So I'm kind of happy, you know, that I was raised the way that I was. Not that he's a bad person, but I wouldn't have had those survival skills, because he gives a whole lot, like too much. I don't know of any of my siblings that had to work hard or know anything about the streets or anything like what I had to endure.
Right.
So I wouldn't trade my upbringing because of my survival of the fittest instinct that I have.
Right.
You know, and again, not taking anything away from them, but I can see a big difference between them being raised by him and the way that he reared them versus being raised by my mom and the way my mom raised me. Because Jackie will whip your ass.
Right.
You know, she not holding them up. She gonna curse you out and your friends.
Oh, man.
You know, but it was kind of out of love. And you're talking about the neighborhood raising the kids. I have a friend, and I don't know if Stephanie is usually on the live, but you know, I have a friend, Jennifer Rochelle, Stephanie Rochelle.
Okay.
They mother meant business, just like my mother did the cussing or whatever. They mother wrote notes like kids didn't clean up, so they friends are not welcome here. You will not track my floor up, and after you read this note, walk away.
Right.
And it'll like be on the door.
Okay.
You know, or whatever. And it ain't no getting off. It'll be like out of love, and you just don't come to my mama door because she was just mean.
Right.
You know, or whatever. So if I'm coming out, you will see me out.
Right.
You know, but when we look back over all the ways that we were raised and all of those idiosyncrasies made us who we are today,
Right.
it meant something. It taught us how to survive.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're all strong, surviving in these streets.
Yep.
You know, but try to raise a kid the way that we were raised.
Most definitely.
It won't work. You know, I don't even think kids understand the struggle.
No, they don't. You know, they don't. And I look at some of the, like, you know, nowadays it's all about social media, the Instagram and things like that. And I look at some of the memes, you know how sometimes they have those memes on Instagram. It's like the kids nowadays, they wouldn't know nothing about, and they have a meme about all the stuff that went on back then versus what's going on now. Yeah, I show that type of stuff to my kids, and like you say,
they don't even know what you're talking about.
It's foreign to them.
Yeah, they don't know what you're talking about. Hey, that street light, bzzz, be running my ass like Forrest Gump. Like, is that the street light, bub? Bzzz.
Right.
You know what that means. You better get it.
Yeah.
Get it all the way home. I'm on my way.
Right.
None of that. When the street lights come on, have your ass in the house.
Right, right. Yeah.
Period. If my mom has never been in your house, I can't go in your house.
Right, right.
You know,
Wow.
all of that old school stuff.
Yeah.
You know, drinking bottled water. I drank out of the water hose. Because don't keep running it. Come in the house one more time, your ass staying in. You thirsty, you hot.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
whatever. Opening up the refrigerator every 5 minutes. What's in there? The same thing that was in there 5 minutes ago. Open it again. You going to bed. Kids don't know nothing about that. They just
Right.
hold on, open the refrigerator. I get my little nephew all the time. He just holding it open, just looking in there.
Yeah. What you think on something different going? Same thing in there that you
Same
looked
thing
at
in
5
there was
minutes
in there
ago.
before. But, you
Right.
know, all of that can be appreciated because it's about giving your kids more than what you had. I don't disagree with that at all. But the morals and the values that go along with that, make sure they get those as well. Work ethic,
Right.
you know, valuing hard work and things of that nature. I am totally for that.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Totally for it. Well, you know, that time went by
Hey,
extremely fast.
That's
So
all right, you
is
know.
it any nuggets you want to share with the audience before we prepare to get out of here?
Most definitely. I most definitely want to thank you. You know, I appreciate the platform, the support. You know, we need more of this type of stuff, you know, where we can come in and, you know, and just have a good conversation about what's going on, supporting the music in the city of Detroit. You know, I support all the old artists. I support all the new artists. You know, I want to most definitely give a shout out to my Third Block family, my SMR family. You know, and if y'all trying to support, you can most definitely get some of my music on Tidal, all social media platforms, iTunes. You know, I got a couple of albums that's out right now. Still working too, R&B music, you know, YouTube, just search Rikavel, and some of my material will come up, and I appreciate this opportunity. So,
Is there any way someone can book you if they wanted to book you to perform? Do you perform live?
I would, you know, it just all depends on what my schedule looking like. Just give me a call. You know, I don't want to put my number out, but you can most definitely reach out to me at rikavel7@gmail.com, at Instagram at 7 Mile Records, Facebook, Ricky Beasley. You know, just look me up and shoot me an inbox, shoot me a text, whatever it might be, and I'm willing to do whatever.
All righty. Well, I want to thank everyone on the live. You've been listening to Black Coffee, No Sugar, No Cream, and I've been chopping it up with my nephew, Rikavel, Rick Beasley, here from 7 Mile Records, and as always, it's been a pleasure. On Black Coffee, you know I don't spill the tea, nor am I trying to daze you like you had a shot of cheap liquor. I just want you to see things from my sobering point of view. We will see you next Monday, and we're out of here.
Bye.